good morning, maybe good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to English, Valentin English, the best way to learn any language. It's a pleasure for me to have a great English teacher. She's from the United States, Laurel, a good friend of mine, and we're going to talk about how to learn English. So, Laurel, welcome to English, Valentin English.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so we want to talk about what the best way is to learn a foreign language. I know you've been teaching for a while, so
A
you have a
long
lot of
time.
teaching, a long time, and you have many teaching experience. So, what do you
Yes.
think is the best way to learn a foreign language?
I think the best way is to start with the basic, they sound. I know that Spanish has many different ways you can say, sounds. So you have to really figure out where you're going. If you're going to a certain Spanish country, learn that kind of Spanish. English is the same way. If you're coming to the US, learn the US accent, but that's also secondary to just learning the language itself. So it is good to have a goal in mind, but the basics are always going to be the basics. So yeah, start there.
Okay, very good. So you say that back in the United States, there are many accents. What do you mean?
Yes, there are.
For example?
For example, there's the Southern accent where I talk like this and it's very, very okay. And then there's the Northern accent, or like I sound like I'm from Boston, and maybe people will laugh at my accent, but that's how I sound. Then there's the neutral accent, basically the one that I have. I grew up in the Midwest in Chicago, so I sound understandable to most people, and I don't have a lot of what I would call accent that you could say, oh, it sounds like she's doing some accent. It just sounds like English to me.
Uh,
And then, of course, there's the Valley Girl, which is the California accent. How do I do that? Valley. I want this and that. I mean, I don't know. She sounds kind of like she's from California. She's very rich and she's very pampered. That's a Valley Girl accent. So that's like
yeah, but you do understand each other when you speak, right?
I understand her. Yes.
Yes, of course. I
Yes.
think it
Hmm.
happens in all of the around the world, all the culture. For example, I'm from the Dominican Republic, and my native language is Spanish. But then
Right.
you got people from Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, Chile.
Chili.
Yeah, you got so many different accents. But I think
Yeah.
we do understand each other perfectly.
Yes.
Well, sometimes
Yeah.
they use some kind of slams or idioms that we don't
Yeah.
get at all, and we say, "Hey,
Slang or
what is it?"
idiom. Yeah.
Yeah,
Idiom is hard sometimes because people don't know what it means to like raining like cats and dogs. Like, what does that mean? Or on cloud nine, people don't understand these idioms sometimes because they are slang, and people's titles. Like if you call somebody honey or baby, is that rude if you don't know them? Yes, it is.
yes, I understand, but I think you have to be in the place, but because if it's raining, it's pouring, raining very hard, and you say, "Wow,
Yeah.
Valentine, look outside, it's raining cats and
Yeah.
dogs." Maybe I will understand.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe. The
yeah.
story is that they fall off the roof because they're warm and then it starts raining and they fall off the roof. In the old days when they had thatched roofs, that was the idea.
I understand,
Now,
but I think,
yeah,
yes, I think it's important. But I think when we learn the standard English and then we get to the place, like if I go to the United States, maybe I will understand step by step, but we learn the basic English. Okay, another
yeah,
question. So you've been a great
yeah,
teacher, and a lot of people. I see in the WhatsApp group that a lot of people are trying to learn so difficult
yes.
words, and sometimes they say that is basic, that is advanced, that is intermediate. So what do you think about this? What do you think? What do you think about what's the best way is to English to communicate? Is that necessary to learn how to those advanced or intermediate words or phrases? What do you think about it? What do you think?
Okay, so English is for communication. English does not say, oh, you need to speak basic, intermediate, advanced levels. I mean, you feel good when you can say to somebody, oh, I have advanced English. That's great, but it's almost better to say, well, I'm trying to communicate to you. And if I say the word very all the time, and I understand all these words, but then I want to say it's very great or very good or very something, and that's all up to using words like beautiful and spacious and wonderful, things that don't use very.
Yeah,
So when you got to a level where you are able to speak basic communication, then move up.
yeah.
That's it.
I think it's okay too, because that's what I'm trying to tell some people, because I know how to speak 6 languages, and I
That's
didn't go.
amazing.
I didn't go to school. So how
Uh-huh.
how I did learn? I used to work as a tour guide. So I was driving people around the Dominican Republic, and then in the Dominican Republic, you have people from Germany, France, Italy, Brazil, all over the world. And then little by little, I learned how to speak those languages. I worked for an American, let's say German, French company, maybe for 10 or 15 years. But maybe,
Yeah.
I know how to speak. I know how to speak more German than English, but I know more English
Wow.
than German. I know more English than German when we talk about grammar, when we talk about writing, but I speak more German. And if you ask me, how do you write this in German? I don't know.
You won't know
Yes,
exactly because you know it all orally. You know it from speaking, from experience.
yes. And that's why you see, that's why I'm telling people to concentrate on phrases right now, on
Hmm.
phrases,
Right.
because if you ask a little child, 10 years old baby or child, you ask him anything and he answers. So
Right.
okay, then I think we should concentrate on this. And what do you think about, what should we learn first when we are learning the language? Grammar, phrases, reading or writing? What do you think? Could be, should be the first things to learn according to your teaching
It's
experience.
easy enough to learn. Yeah. So obviously you can learn reading and writing on your own. You don't need any person to speak with. I think it's important to learn reading and writing. But reading and listening are the two inputs. You're listening and you're reading and you're learning the sounds of the language and the writing of the language. That's important. After I've been told 1,200 hours, I don't think it needs to be that long. I think you should start speaking as soon as you're able to.
From
And
day
even
one.
if you make mistakes, it's okay. From day one, Benny, the polyglot, is amazing at, learning from day one. And he goes into a situation, doesn't know a lot, and he'll learn just like you did on the spot. He'll learn how to say something. He'll ask somebody. And I do the same thing with Google Translate. I teach people from all over the world. So I was working with a Russian couple and they didn't know very much English and we talk that way. I do that with Spanish speakers or Portuguese speakers if I don't understand or I want to check something. And so it's a great way to start. You need this. You need it. So you find a way to make it happen because you're in the situation. If you're not, then you have no reason to work that hard
Okay,
and you won't
very
do
good.
it.
Yes, I know, because sometimes on the bus, as I was working as a tour guide, I got some people from Russia, from Poland, and I just learned a couple of words, like how to say welcome and Valentine.
Hmm.
On the left side, you have this, and then
Yeah,
I use the Google Translator, like basic. So,
exactly.
what do you recommend is to start with small talks and simple dialogues, and,
Yes.
and this, and
Hmm.
no difficult things.
No, no, because you don't need it at that point. You don't need to know the past, present, perfect, whatever, when you're first starting off. All you need to know is what you want. I want to go here. I need simple verbs that you learn. And
Yes,
then when you're able to learn that, you move on.
I agree with you 1,000%, not only 100. I would tell you, I would tell you why, Laura, because I speak Italian and I speak German
Mhm.
and French. But you know, when you speak Italian, German, or French, is very different than English
In some
because
ways, yeah.
or Spanish. Why? Because we have a different way to express ourselves. For example, you know, in English, you
Hmm.
say, I ate.
Hmm.
But in Italian, to say I ate, you have to say I have eaten.
Hmm. Okay.
You know, and in German, for example, you have to say, like in English, you say 23. In German, you say 3 plus 20.
Yeah. France has a lot of math too. French does too. When you get to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
above 60, it's ridiculous. You're like 10 plus, and it's just, you have to know that stuff. But at the beginning, you just have to learn the basics. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept,
Catherine.
huit, neuf,
Yes,
dix.
yes, yes.
Just
I know
like
how.
English.
Yes, because French is the numbers are like upside down, like 80, 84,
Right.
90. But you know, the same French language, if you go to Belgium, they don't say, they say nonant. They say nonant. It's like a 90, you
Right.
know.
That's like
Yes,
Quebec
but
French.
it's different from the context. Okay, so good. Now, I'm not seeing you, Laura. Okay, let's say now, what, let me see. What do you recommend? So you recommend to learn the basic, right? The basic
Yes.
English.
So
Okay,
you can
so
communicate.
okay, very good. I want to ask you something. So you being a lot, you have WhatsApp group and you're trying to teach people in the WhatsApp group.
Yes.
What
Yes.
kind of problems do you find in there? What do people often make, like mistakes?
What
What?
mistakes?
Yeah.
Will say an expression like, how are you doing? They'll say, how how will you be going? Like they'll say some thing that is not like, I hope you will be well. And I'm like, well, that's not exactly how we say it, you know? And so they'll learn little things like that. Then the other thing is, you know, just the way to express yourself respectfully to a teacher or to other people. Sometimes we have problems with that. Um,
And what do you think
is I
about?
don't understand this word or
Yeah, and what do you think? Sometimes you know you have different people for different countries, and you know
yeah,
the music of the language, like English, is different.
yes,
Maybe I have an accent. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I have a Latino accent, but I think we
yes,
should work on the music of the language. Do you
yes.
have this problem? Like we got people from
Um,
Pakistan, from Bangladesh, from Africa, Bangola,
yes,
with the
yes, all of
music
those.
language. What?
Yeah. Unless they give me a voice chat message because I'll do a reading record and they'll speak. And I don't harp as much on, oh, you need to sound like me. I say, okay, the word is not understandable. So even if I understand, you know, they have an accent, it's okay so long as I can understand the word. But you're right, absolutely. Every place has its own music, every language. And you can tell even without listening to the words, sometimes if it's German, it's more
Yes.
harsh. If it's
Yeah, but
Italian,
I
it's
think
more
that
flowing and French.
I think they need to concentrate on the rhythm. Like you
Yes,
say, for example, if I speak like this, hello, Raja, I want to talk to you. It's very important because I think you are a very nice person. Okay, maybe you understand this, but it's so this kind of sound is like
yeah,
annoying, right? It's like
yeah, a
annoying.
little
It's
bit. It's
a
not
little
as
bit,
expressive.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
think
So let me describe what I'm doing right now with my students. And I have 300 students in my WhatsApp group, and I have a NAS.io community that has now 400. And there's not the NAS.io is not very where they could do something important. So I'm doing a 21-day pronunciation challenge. And what this is I have a YouTube video series that I did with pronunciation. We start with E and then we compare E and I and then E and A and so on and so forth. The little things that people miss. And
Hard not
it's
to try.
from a book. It's
It's hard
great.
not to try.
And I did sell it before, and now I'm giving it for free for these people. And I hear their accents and I hear their expression, and they do well. Some of them, I have a student from Yemen, and he's so expressive when he speaks. And I was just like, that's great. I'm so glad you're doing this so well.
Very,
So it's
very.
possible.
So they need to do shadowing. That's what you mean,
Yeah.
shadowing. To listen
Yes.
and repeat.
Shadowing, copying the best that they can what I say. Would
Uh,
you like a cheese sandwich or a meat sandwich? You know? And so you go up and down and you say the words right. And then you listen to me. And then, of course, my friend Claudette, who is a Mexican teacher, she says, you have to smile when you say E. And that's what I
Yeah,
always say. Make sure you say the word beach.
yeah. Like to match tempo and pace
Mhm.
and this up and down. Okay, that's why I'm giving this for free. This book, 350 English American phrases, and I'm going to take your course
You
to
wrote that?
improve my pronunciation. So it's been a pleasure, Lauder. Thank you very much for being here in English Valentine English. And so you have a YouTube channel too, right?
Yes, I do.
Say your
If
YouTube channel.
people, yes, if people look up YouTube/C/Laurel's Learning Lab,
Okay, I will
you will
tell
find me. And
my
I have a lot of
followers.
videos on there.
Okay, I will tell my followers to follow you because I need to learn
Okay,
English from
great.
you. And I tell my followers I'm not a native English speaker, but I have a lot
Right.
of friends from the USA, and I'm trying to do my best. And I will
Yes.
share my knowledge with you. So thank you very
Excellent.
much. A last word. What would you like to say? The last word.
Just keep learning.
And practicing. Okay, people. If you like this video, subscribe. Leave your comment below. And see you. How do you say that? See you later, alligator. In a while.
See
Crocodile.
you later, alligator, in a
In a
while,
while.
crocodile.
Okay. Thank you.